Jay Sherman channel.
I've kept you around through thick and thin.
Let me start off by telling you the story of the critic. And it may not be interesting, but at least it's never been told before. I'll just tell you how the show came to be, because no animated show ever came into existence the way the critic did. It started off, Al Jean and I had been running The Simpsons. We ran the show in seasons 3 and 4, and we needed a break. We wanted to do something else. So we needed a break, and Matt Groening came to us and he said, I want to do a Krusty the Clown animated spin-off. That was it. We said awesome. And we set to work for a couple of months working out the Krusty the Clown animated show. And our idea was Krusty the Clown is going to move to New York, and he's going to be working for a Ted Turner type, and he's going to be a divorced dad with a son, he's going to have a makeup lady that hates him. We had this whole thing worked out, and Matt Groening came in at the last minute and said, no, that's not the show I want to do. He says, I decided I want to do Krusty the Clown as, I swear, I want to do as a live-action reality show. This was his plan. We're going to dress Dan Castellaneta. We're going to dress him as Krusty, and we're going to put him on a crab boat in Alaska, and we'll have him delivering a baby, and it'll be hilarious. Well, that never happened. That's the one idea Matt Groening ever had that didn't make $1 billion. So that whole show was dead. And a couple of months later, James L. Brooks came up to us and he said, I have an idea for a show. It's a live-action sitcom I want to do about the makeup woman who works at the Today Show. She'll be 30 and single, and we go, hey, that's great, boss. And we go back afterwards and go, I hate this idea. I hate it, and I don't know how we're going to write it. And we wrestled with it for a while. We go, well, what would be funny about working at the Today Show? You know, you can have a fat weather man and maybe a really stupid anchor woman, and you can have a film critic. Let's have a film critic on the show, like Gene Shalit. And suddenly we got excited. The only thing that really interested us was doing a live-action show about a film critic, and we knew we could parody a lot of movies on the show. So we go to Jim Brooks. We said, we want to do the Today Show about the film critic, and he said, great. And he said, I just saw a movie last night called A League of Their Own, and this guy, John Lovitz, was in it, and he was so funny. Because, do you know who John Lovitz is? You ever seen that? No, Jim Brooks said that. This isn't a date. It's not. No, Jim says, do you know who John Lovitz is? Now, John Lovitz had been on The Simpsons already 3 times, and that's when we realized, Jim Brooks doesn't watch The Simpsons. So we said, yes, we love John Lovitz, he's hilarious, we wrote the whole pilot, without even telling him. We did the stupidest thing you could do in show business. We wrote the whole pilot, a live-action show called The Critic. We stole everything we had thought of for the Krusty the Clown show. We said, all right, he's a film critic. He lives in New York, and his boss is Ted Turner, and he's a divorced dad. And we didn't make up anything else. We never throw anything away. And we said, that's what the show we want to do. He said, great. We wrote it, and then we called John Lovitz. And we said, John Lovitz, we have a TV show we want you to do. And John said, no. Now, by the way, people always ask, is John Lovitz really like you see him on TV? And the answer is, well, that's a deep philosophical question. He's not really that guy. That's merely a character he plays 24 hours a day. So we said, John, we have a TV show we want you to do. He said, no, I'm a movie star now. And he walked out of the meeting, and it was as he was walking out of the meeting, I said, without asking anyone, I said, what if it was an animated show? I said, then you only got to work an hour a week. He goes, well. Suddenly he was interested, and that's how The Critic came to be. I'm going to guess it is the only animated show in history where the decision to make it animated was the last decision made. And somehow, but of course, I don't know how we ever would have done it live action. So, so just to refresh your memories, because I haven't watched the show in 15 years, I'm going to need some tech help here. Just to play, I want to play you 10 minutes of a Critic episode, and you know, you guys seem to know the show better than me. I think you'll enjoy it. I think it'll all be on one screen. It's dated. It's dated. I mean, everybody we parody is dead. And I mean, just to show you how dated it is, I mean, the first thing you see when the Critic comes on is the World Trade Center. I know, and it reminds everyone of a very tragic time in our lives when John Lovitz was a movie star. So, let's see if we can roll that.
Hachi-machi!
There's a good hachi-machi story. And we said, why? And they told us, well, you're on before Home Improvement, and we're afraid you're going to tarnish Tim Allen's reputation. Tim Allen spent 4 years in federal prison, where the phrase tool time has a whole different So then we made the jump to the Fox network, and we were on Fox, and we were, it was the president of Fox, bought the show, and immediately got fired. I don't know if there was a connection, but this woman got fired, and they brought in a new president who hated the show. It's a guy named Boyd. You're not supposed to mention people's names in show business, because you might want to be friends with them later. I don't want to be friends with them. His name was Boyd. He worked at Fox for 6 months, just long enough to cancel the Critic. He never had another job after that. It seems like God sent him to Earth
To fail at life.
to cancel the show, and then he was gone. Your work is done here. You know, back to hell. But that was it. And that was the end. Well, I'm going to tell you again. This is sort of a true story, which is we were dead, and then we got a call from UPN. Now I talk about how we get canceled a lot. UPN is a whole network that got canceled. Yeah. There used to be a United Paramount Network. What?
It's not the CW.
UPN, well, yeah, well, there's no U or P or N in it. And it's the only network that had to change its name to avoid creditors. And but that was it. UPN called us and they said, we want to do the Critic on one condition. No Critic. They want to get rid of the Critic and have it be about his son Marty making a kid's show. And that was where I finally said, no, I've had enough. I can't take it, and canceled 3 times in 18 months. So that was the end. Someone asked about the internet. We did original episodes for the internet. They're out there somewhere. They're on the DVD. They're on the DVD, although they're not even listed on the DVD. That's how bad our PR is. We couldn't get advertising on our own DVD. We have to find these. And they sold it to us. It was a ton of work for free. And I don't do things for free. I'm Jewish. And but they said, here's the great thing. It's the Critic, you know, you can write it, we'll animate it in a week, we'll put it on the internet. The Critic can be reviewing movies that are in theaters this week. It can be so timely and topical, and won't everyone love it? So we wrote 10 episodes for the internet, and then they sat on a shelf for a year and a half. They sat there, they're much longer than it takes to animate them regularly. Somehow they just sat there collecting dust, and they finally kind of trickled onto the internet. By the time they came on, people, again, didn't even know what we were parodying. What? There was a movie called The Patriot? Well, it sure spent a long time making fun of it. So that's it. That's sort of the sad history of the Critic. So I'm so pleased. I think it's 19 years later to see people still ask me about the show all the time. It ain't coming back. Although John Lovitz has now, to tell you where his career is at, I just read this in a magazine today. They said there's a new reality show starring celebrity, in quotes, celebrity John Lovitz. So he's an ironic celebrity. So John Lovitz, who never wanted to do The Critic, grudgingly did it as a cartoon. Now he'll call all the time. Let's do a live action Critic. I'm ready. And I always say the same thing. How did you get this number? The Critic was designed by committee. The Critic, you know, the way they say camel is a horse designed by committee, the Critic was a TV show designed by committee. You know, something like The Simpsons or Futurama has a great look because it's one man's vision. It's Matt Groening's vision. This was designed by 4 super talented people. The Critic and all the characters were designed by Rich Moore, who designed Futurama, David Silverman, the chief director at The Simpsons, a guy named Everett Peck, who invented Duckman, if you remember that. Oh, yeah! All right, don't cheer more for that than my show. And Brad Bird. Brad Bird was the 4th design. Brad Bird was won 2 Oscars. So we had 4 men, 4 of the most talented guys in animation teamed up to create one of the ugliest characters in animated history. Start up there. Anyone got any questions? Right there, the poodle. Is that what you are? Whatever you are, you're adorable.
It's a Pokemon. You were saying earlier that some key people from Fox were behind the whole making of The Critic, correct? Like, Matt Groening and among others.
Not Matt Groening. Matt Groening had nothing to do with The Critic. He was not very supportive of the show.
What I'm getting to is this, though. That being the case, why air it on ABC instead of just Fox, like, altogether?
Yes, it was on the strength of The Simpsons. The Simpsons had just been on a couple of years, and they went to James L. Brooks and told him, we're giving you an, ABC went it to him. They said, gee, we wish we had The Simpsons. They said, we're giving you a deal like no one's had in history. Any idea at all, any idea you have, we will put it on the air for 22 episodes. So a year later, he comes back to him, I've got my idea. It's called The Critic, starring John Lovitz. And they go, we don't want to do it. They said, you have a contract. He said, we don't want to do it. He said, you have to do it for 22. And he said, can we do it for 13? And they said, yes. So that was how it wound up on ABC. And again, this is a great story about that, by the way, is, we've been running The Simpsons. Simpsons is the biggest hit in the world. We go over to do The Critic. The pilot aired on ABC and got really huge ratings. It was very successful. And then 2 days later, my secretary walks into my office carrying 2 big boxes like this. And I say, hey, what's in the boxes? And she goes, hate mail. It was hate mail. For ABC, it was considered, we toned it down significantly from The Simpsons, but to ABC, it was the raunchiest thing they had ever seen in their lives. That was it. And then we moved it to Fox, and Fox, the censors at Fox called us and complained. They said, you're not giving us anything to work with here. It's got to be foxier. That's what they said. And foxier means filthier. Yeah. So that was it. We were too dirty for ABC and too clean for Fox.
Did a crossover with The Simpsons, didn't he?
Yes, this is again not a pretty story. There's so many ugly stories about The Critic, and I'm going to tell them all tonight. So James L. Brooks had another idea, and he said when we were moving over to Fox and we were going on after The Simpsons, he said, let's do a crossover show. The Critic visits The Simpsons at the Springfield Film Festival. And we go, great. And that's a TV tradition. James L. Brooks made history doing that. He had Rhoda go on the Mary Tyler Moore show. Mary Tyler Moore went on the Rhoda show. And when I was a kid, you'd see the Beverly Hillbillies go to Green Acres. And sometimes the TV did. And it was always great. So we were going to do it on The Simpsons, have a crossover.
Barney's so artistic.
And the current staff of The Simpsons, these were all men I had hired, I'd given their first jobs to. They all go, we don't want to do it. And I said, well, we're not going to make you do it. We have the critic staff, we'll write it, we'll produce it, you get to have a week off. And they said, no, we don't believe in this. We think that would be The Simpsons selling out. Oh, The Simpsons selling out.
All the T-shirts and toys, yeah.
So that was all right. Everyone's aware of irony in here. That's great. So the Simpsons staff said, we don't want to do it. And we told that to Jim Brooks. We said, gee, the Simpsons staff doesn't want to do it. And he goes, when did this become a democracy? And so we made the episode, and we told the Simpsons staff, we said, look, you didn't want this episode to go on. You didn't want to work on it. You didn't do anything. Do you want your names on it? Oh, yes. They said, if we put your names on, we have to pay you. Oh, yes, we will gladly be paid for that episode. So they all put their names on. They all got paid. The one thing I'll say in their defense was they made us feel so rotten, and they challenged the episode so much that we really made it a good one. We made a really good episode, and something all these people who hated it could be proud to have their names on. And by the way, there's just one more thing, which is, since then, since Matt Groening and all these guys opposed the Simpsons Critic crossover, The Simpsons done a crossover with X-Files. They did one with Futurama. That seemed to be okay with Matt.
20th Century Fox.
There's going to be a Family Guy Simpsons
versus
crossover
Sony
next year. Ooh! Yes. So, yeah.
But why did Matt Groening hate the show, though? Is it because 20th Century Fox versus Sony, or was it something different than that?
He just didn't, it was early enough in The Simpsons where he just felt, this is not the kind of thing we do. We don't make episodes to promote other shows. I mean, it was an artistic decision. He didn't make a big deal out of it. He did take his name off that episode, and whatever.
Okay.
Whatever. Yes, sir.
Did you go to school?
Did I go to school?
And if you so, where'd you go to UCLA? Where'd you go to school?
Did I go to? Yes, I am an 8th grade graduate. I'm very proud of that. No, I went to like about half, at least half the Simpsons writers and 2/3 of the Critic writers. I'm a Harvard graduate. And I went to Harvard because Harvard has produced so many hilarious people. Hilarious. I mean, yeah, there's Conan and Al Gore. Hilarious. Hilarious. So if you're curious what a Harvard education is like, here's what you do. Go in your backyard and burn $180,000. I'm kidding, of course. It's $200,000. Yes, I gotta say, for anyone who's interested in TV writing or even animation, I gotta say, I didn't go to school for it. I never took a course in it. No writer on The Simpsons, as far as I know, ever took a writing course. It's just something you learn. You just pick it up watching TV. And in fact, we just had a reunion of the first season Simpsons writers, and you know, those shows are considered classic, and they're going, how did you create this genius? And not one of those people on that staff had ever written a TV script before. So it's just something you either know how to do or you don't. And I guess we knew. Yes?
Now that there's so many people just kind of putting their own stuff up on the internet, like just that, like now you don't even need a website to have like an internet series or something like that. You just shove it onto YouTube. Like since you talk about how you kept getting like the rug pulled out on you and stuff like that, would you like maybe not the critic, but if you were in a position to do a new show and someone was just giving you that bucket of money to make a new show,
I'd settle for the bucket.
would some sort of like weird self-publishing thing be something you would be interested in, or would that be an ideal for you? Just because you won't have you won't get cut off halfway through the way you will when someone else is publishing you?
Yes, it's not only do I agree with that, I mean, I sort of did that. I'll tell you about that in a second. But my advice to any of you who are interested in doing this, especially, just make something. Don't go to the networks. Don't don't ask around. Don't even go that route. Make it yourself. You know, if you can animate it, even badly, animate it badly. If you can't animate it all, find someone, you know, find a guy on Craigslist who knows how to animate. People want to find each other, and it's fun. It is fun to make animation, and put it up there. Put it up there and hope someone finds it, and that's how you'll get in. You know, but people don't know that Family Guy was just something Seth MacFarlane made that. He didn't pitch it to a network. He just made that. As far as I know, he made it at home, or it was his thesis at RISD. What?
He actually rehashed that over and over again, like the same idea with the talking dog.
You would put it on
Except
Cartoon
in America.
Network.
Yeah.
Oh,
put it on
okay.
Cartoon
So people are
Network.
saying
Larry and Steve.
he remade it and rehashed it over and over, which doesn't sound like Seth MacFarlane at all.
Cutaway jokes.
And the history of my history on this is a thing called Icebox.com that some of you might have heard of. During the dot-com boom in the year 2000, people came to us and came to a bunch of TV writers and said, "Do you want to make cartoons? We'll pay you nothing. It's going to be a lot of work." And the only thing they could offer was no network is involved. Nobody's going to tell you what to do. And everybody they asked did it. And everybody created cartoons. And this dot-com was considered a success by dot-com standards, in that it only lost $13 million the first year. And but I loved it. And I created 2 cartoon series for it. One was called Hard Drinkin' Lincoln. And the other one was called Queer Duck. And Queer Duck, it was the adventures of a gay duck. And this is the year 2000. And I created it because there were no, I just read an article, there were no gay people on TV. Now, everybody's gay. Now you got Glee and Anderson Cooper and everybody's gay, and you got to really watch TV with a condom over it. But I created this cartoon, Queer Duck, and it was just on a website, and 2 days after it aired on a website, a reporter flew in from Berlin, Germany to talk about Queer Duck. That was how fast this thing caught on. And I don't know how good it was, but it was the only one of its kind. And Queer Duck made the jump from the internet to the Showtime network, and from the Showtime network, they started showing it on the BBC, where British TV viewers named it one of the 100 greatest cartoons of all time. Now you gotta remember, I mean, we're talking about England, I mean, the world's only exclusively gay country. Great Britain, of course, is an island, and it's just sort of a big gay cruise that doesn't go anywhere. But that's it. I did it. I love it. The proudest thing in my career is not The Critic, and it's not The Simpsons. It's Queer Duck. And just do an internet search. In fact, they're all on YouTube now. You can see 20 episodes of Queer Duck, and there's a Queer Duck movie you can get from Netflix. And that's the thing I like. I'm super proud of that. And that thing, the Queer Duck movie, has won awards in New York and Chicago and San Francisco, big surprise, Germany and Wales and Sweden. I've won every gay trophy you can win. At least I think they're trophies. Some of them vibrate. Okay.
It stinks.